I'm Father Matthew Hawkins of the Diocese of Pittsburgh. African American History Month is an opportunity for all Catholics to experience a deeper encounter with Christ from a unique perspective. The spiritual journey of African Americans demonstrates that it is wrong to claim that religion is merely the opiate of the masses, to teach oppressed people to accept dehumanizing conditions. For African Americans, religion was never a happy pill to escape from pain. The spirituality of African Americans is misunderstood if it is seen as merely being joyous escapism. African American spirituality has always entailed entering into the pain, embracing the cross, and allowing oneself to be transformed by it. Even before the blues, which was a popularized and secular African American version of entering into the pain, the spirituals emerged as a musical form that enabled the community to experience metaphysical transcendence. The spirituals communicated the dignity of the human person under conditions that were dehumanizing. As the identity and culture of African Americans was being destroyed, and as family members were sold off, the spiritual spoke of steady perseverance in following the way of Christ. The spiritual hold on is one example of this. If taken literally, it may be seen as being a song about plowing a field. But on the communal level, it spoke about liberation from enslavement in a way that the authorities would not understand. On an even higher level, it was instruction in ascending the ladder of spiritual growth. The lyrics read, "If you want to get to heaven, let me tell you how. Just keep your hand on the gospel plow. Keep your hand on that plow. Hold on. If that plow stays in your hand, it will land you straight in the promised land. Keep your hand on the plow. Hold on." Mary had a golden chain. Every link was Jesus' name. Keep your hand on that plow. Hold on. Keep on climbing and don't you tire. Every rung goes higher and higher. Keep your hand on that plow. Hold on. Every plowman understood the importance of holding on to the literal plow to avoid personal injury. But this plow also had metaphorical meaning in terms of responding to Jesus' invitation to ascend to spiritual perfection without being distracted by transitory desires that lead one to plow a crooked path through life, leading one to be an accomplice in one's own dehumanization. The survival of African Americans required that the community be steadfast in faith. 37 years after emancipation, in the midst of forced segregation and widespread lynching, James Weldon Johnson wrote a hymn of hope that acknowledged the community's history of suffering and pain, but also pointed to the steadfast faith under impossible circumstances that enabled the community to preserve its humanity. In the following verse, Johnson wrote about a hope that was aborted before it could be born. Yet through the strength of faith, it was passed down from one generation to the next. That hope was eventually fulfilled. The lyrics of Lift Every Voice and Sing read, "Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with a steady beat, have not our weary feet come to the place where our fathers sighed." But even amid the hope of these partially fulfilled dreams, Johnson offered ominous words of caution for future generations. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path, we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee, lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. In these lines, Johnson echoed the message in the spiritual Hold On. The message was clear. Persevere in the faith that had carried African Americans through centuries of dehumanization and abuse. Do not get distracted by the empty promises of a world that reduces human beings to mere objects. This message has been the bedrock of African American spirituality for 400 years, and it has meaning for all people of faith who are trying to find their way in the 21st century. I'm Father Matthew Hawkins of the Diocese of Pittsburgh.